Hey everyone. Wow, it's been a while again, hasn't it? I am here in beautiful Encinitas at a close friend's house, and we've just finished preparing for a big project on grace that we're looking to launch in 2020. But today's Facebook Live video, I wanted to jump on before Advent officially started, because Essence Tribe, we're going to do an Advent ritual once a day in the morning starting December 1st, and it's totally free. So I wanted to do a Facebook Live before that happened so that if you're feeling inclined to give yourself a daily devotional that will be maybe 15 minutes a day, that you could join us. And you can take a look at the description, www.essencetribe.com. You can join for the free level, which gives you access every day, and you'll get instructions. Or you can join for the subscriber level, which gives you additional webinars and lots of other fun resources. I wanted to also take some time as we get ready for Thanksgiving and then moving into Advent to reflect a little bit on Advent. Advent is an unknown, underrated time of year. In the Christian tradition, it's a 4-week time of preparation for the birth of God happening on December 25th, and then the Christmas season ensuing up until February 2nd. So Christmas season is much longer than a day and much longer than a couple days. But Advent, which seems to be filled with lots of Christmas things going on in society around us, is actually meant to be a stripped down time. It's meant to be a time that we till the inner soil, we reflect nature, which by this point in many places nature has lost its leaves, there might be snow, the air has turned colder, everything is changing and things are moving into a certain fallow or cave-like state. Advent is meant to reflect that. And so when I was in the monastery, I had the chance, I practiced it a fair amount in my family and then out on my own, but even more fully embraced Advent when in the monastery. Because when Advent started, everything would be stripped down. We would move into 4 weeks of pretty intense fasting. We didn't go completely without food. And we would strip down the altar, all of the flowers and accoutrements would be gone from all of our rituals. We would not use the organ and other instruments. We would not do all of the harmony that we loved to do when we sang as nuns together. And we entered into a time of real simplicity, where the themes of the chant, the themes of the meditation, the themes of all the readings were setting us up for a hope that would not leave us disappointed. It would be a time of shedding the things that we hold on to that don't really give us new birth and new life, and create a spaciousness within, step into a spaciousness and an emptiness, really, an emptiness in the waiting, but not a waiting that's passive, a waiting that was very active. If we're engaged in our personal growth, we will find that even when it feels like we're exercising things such as patience, waiting, expectation, hope, that the very practice and the very waiting itself is replete with a certain fullness. And I'd love to invite you into that. What ways right now in your own life are you experiencing change, loss, dismantlement, hope that hasn't been fulfilled, urgings and stirrings? It could be on the big end of the spectrum, like destruction and annihilation, and it could be on the smaller level of that niggling that, oh, there's something more. I'm meant to birth and be birthed into something more. What might be happening in your life right now that points to that? Advent is a great time of year because the consciousness is focused on devoting practice, time, and attention to those very movements within. I remember my first year of Advent in the monastery, and I've told this story many times, so if you've heard it, forgive me, maybe you'll get something new out of it. That to my surprise, right when we chanted the first Advent chant at First Vespers, that's the night before the first Sunday of Advent, the mode and the sound and the vibrational quality of the chant plunged me into a chaos that was scary. I had no idea what to expect. I thought Lent was going to be scary because of it leading to the Passion and the Crucifixion, but it wasn't. Lent ended up being filled with this walking with Jesus. But Lent was being plunged into almost the pre-creative chaos. And in it, I opened myself up for, well, what can be my anchor during this time? Where can I land my feet? What can be a stance or stability that I can bank on? And you know what came to me? Mary. Advent is a season that is so about the divine feminine and Mary. And in a particular way, Mary as Theotokos, as God-bearer. Right in this time, if we were to draw upon some of the historical remnants of where Advent came from, we would then note that Mary was pregnant in her last month of pregnancy. Now, when we do research, we don't know if that's actually true for this time of the year, so I'm not positing any historical critical analysis to convince you that she was at this very moment in time pregnant. But I do believe at one point she was pregnant with God. And so this is the time when it's going to come. It's going to happen. It's imminent. It's imminent. And she was the one, not only that I walked with, I reflected on what that would be like and how I'm being called to birth anew, how I was being called to be pregnant with God, and translating it out that it's a time to recognize what ways are you being stirred with a longing that leaves you, in a sense, pregnant with Spirit in a new way. But my experience of Mary as in Advent was also in an additional way. It was, yes, as Theotokos, and Theotokos in the way that we're all drawn into that role. But secondly, it was the matrix, the chaotic, vibrational, feminine aspect of the universe, that chaos that from which new life comes in general. So Advent can be a twofold way that you enter into a simplicity in what you're truly hoping and being called to birth anew in your life, or as being birthed anew. The first would be focusing on noticing that even though there's an emptiness, when we're being called into something new, there is a way we aren't it yet, right? So there's a certain seeming distance between us and the it that is the new birth or the new life. So now can be a time to recognize that you're actually pregnant. You're pregnant. So you're not in a time of emptiness at all, but you're in a time of new, unknown development of what you're birthing in you. And the second is the amazing consolation that the divine feminine is the matrix in which we are being birthed anew every moment of every day. Advent has that intensity to it. So what could you possibly do if you're going to look at this holiday season as a time of preparation leading into the fullness of new birth? You could take a look to see any ways you might be overloaded or cluttered in your life. That could be on a physical plane. Is your house cluttered? Is your schedule cluttered? It could be in an emotional way. Is your heart encumbered with rollings around in emotional sensations that's holding you back from sitting simply in hope and expectation? It could be a way you work with your mind in a similar fashion. And it could be spiritual. Is your spiritual growth right now cluttered with more than what you need? Have you given a yes to so many practices that you're simply doing them all versus being in a spaciousness? How can you prune down and whittle down? It could be in diet. It could be in health. It could be just simply in your inner attitude to come into each moment from a place of unknown and let the moment reveal itself to you as a preparation for your new birth. In this way, you find yourself anew, and you find that you are found anew as well. So, that's a little bit about Advent and a little bit about this preparation time. And again, don't let society's already filling the space with all the holiday cheer. Don't let that inhibit you or hold you back from seeing this as a time of true fasting, as a time of true honing down to a simplicity so that your cup is not already full when the new birth time comes, but that you are such a vessel that you're ready for that birth. So I mentioned in the beginning that I'll be doing a free, I'm calling it an Advent series. So whether you're Christian or another tradition or no tradition at all, doesn't mean that this isn't a time of preparation for new birth for you. You can take that personally. This will be a free Advent series, and we'll start on December 1st. The timing will be 7:30 in the morning Mountain Time every day. On the 4 Sundays, the practice and ritual will be a little longer. It'll be 30 minutes. You don't have to stay on for it all if you don't want. And on every other day, Monday through Saturday, it will be every 15 minutes. You can join us by joining the free level of Essence Tribe. That's my online spiritual community. We're a brand new community. We are 91 members strong all around the country. So you will be meditating and having devotion with people of all different backgrounds, all different experience, all different ages. So you can join us by joining the free level of essencetribe.com. And what will happen is the night before you'll receive the Zoom link that will give you access to the morning. Now, if for some reason you can't make it, or you don't want to attend all of them so that you don't fill in your time too severely, know that I'll be recording every single morning. And the recording then will go into your inbox the night of. So we'll be exploring all the different themes that Advent presents to us. That is hope and expectation, coming from a place of emptiness into fullness, notions of Theotokos, God-bearer. We'll go into the life of Mary, the life of the prophets, the life of mystics. There'll be poetry, there'll be chant, there'll be meditation, and it'll be a full range. And if you have a theme for this time of the year, because we're right in many places, I know it's shining here, the sun's shining in Encinitas, but in most places you're experiencing winter. And winter has its own descriptions, doesn't it? It's cold. We want to hunker in and hunker down. We might feel that we want to eat more comfort food because we don't keep our bodies as warm. So all of these themes will come in as well. And when you join Essence Tribe then, and if you're coming on later, you can start at the beginning and hear the reflection on Mary as Theotokos. When you join Essence Tribe, your first Zoom link will come into your inbox on November 30th. And we'll start December 1st, the first Sunday of Advent. If you're someone who celebrates Advent, you might want to have your candles out. That's 3 purple and 1 pink. As a form of preparation, you'll want to look, how can you enter more emptiness and simplicity for 4 weeks? Is there a way that you can fast of something that's filling you up and keeping you from the open-heartedness and the spaciousness that Advent is meant to be a time of, so that your inner soil preparation, that soil can be tilled, and when the day of new birth comes, you can birth anew in ways of unexpected joy. In the monastery, our preparation was so dramatic and so dynamic that I can't even put into words the joy that came Christmas Eve at the midnight mass or Christmas morning. But we did fasting in our diet. We did fasting of colors and sensations. We did fasting by letting go of musical instruments. We did fasting in the simplicity of the chant. We did fasting by longer hours of prayer and meditation. What's a simple way that you can keep your cup empty so that it can be filled anew on December 25th. So if you have any questions, private message me. Otherwise, these devotionals will not happen on Facebook Live. They'll be happening through essencetribe.com. I love you all. I look forward to entering the season with you with much grace, much hope, much vulnerability, and much expectation. Blessings. Bye. Mwah.